watching 11 Alive Morning News. 11 minutes of nonstop news starts now.
A hit and run ends with the driver being shot and killed. Years later, the woman who took the law into her own hands on trial. What we can expect as today's proceedings start.
Cop voters who initially did not get absentee ballots in the midterm have until today to turn them in. What you need to know.
And the cold air is in place, but is it here to stay? I'll let you know in the full forecast straight ahead.
Well, here comes the rush hour. We've got a brand new wreck. You see it there sitting in off to the left, 85 southbound at Beaver Ruin. We're going to tell you what damage is being done and check back in with our wreck at Windy Hill. Aisha?
Starting today, the trial begins for Hannah Payne, years after she was accused of killing a man in Clayton County.
Police say she did try to take the law into her own hands after a hit and run. Ariana Maniz has more on what to expect today in court.
Hannah Payne will be back in court today as she's been out of jail on bond for the past 2 years. Payne is facing multiple charges, including murder for shooting and killing 64-year-old Kenneth Herring. In May of 2019, police say Herring was involved in a hit-and-run crash after running a red light and hitting a semi-truck on Clark Howe Parkway at I-85. No one was injured, so a short time later, he tried to leave the scene because he was suffering from a medical emergency. According to police, Payne witnessed that crash, called 911, and tried to confront Herring. Investigators say that's when Payne shot Herring several times as he sat in the driver's seat of his car. Now, Herring's wife spoke to 11 Alive, and she says that he was trying to get to the hospital, whereas Payne's family says she did nothing wrong. This trial will start today with jury selection, and the entire proceeding is expected to last about 2 weeks. Back to you.
Ariana, thank you. We are following breaking news. You are looking at the University of Virginia campus where there is a manhunt happening for a suspect in a deadly shooting. This all happened late last night. Right now, we do know 3 people were killed there. Police say they're looking for Christopher Darnell Jones. The university's president says Jones is a student. People in the area are being told to shelter in place, and classes have been canceled at the university for today. We'll stay on top of that story for you. And sticking with your 11 minutes of nonstop news, a separate manhunt has finally ended for the person accused of shooting a Henry County detention officer. And
we are expecting to learn a lot more about the suspect's arrest later today. The U.S. Marshals Service says that 32-year-old Brenson Thomas is in jail this morning. He was on the run for more than a week. Investigators say Thomas is linked to a shooting at the Haddon Place Apartments in McDonough November 4th. We're told he also has charges in Clayton County and Miami-Dade County in Florida. The Henry County Sheriff's Office is set to speak a little later today.
A family in Pike County is searching for answers after 2 children died in a house fire. That tragedy happened Sunday morning just after 3. A fire started at the home off Shortcut Road in Molina. The preliminary investigation shows that fire was accidental. The victims' names have not been released.
Students will be back in class this morning at a DeKalb County prep school. Remember last week the car crashed into Ivy Preparatory Academy and it stopped just a few inches from students' desks. 3 children were hurt, and the driver is now facing charges. That was a look at some of your Monday morning headlines.
I can't drop my shoulders, Chesley. It's so cold. I just want to bundle up with myself.
You got to protect those ears, right? Got to
Yes.
protect those ears.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. It's cold outside, folks, and you'll be doing the same thing if you go outside trying to be all cute and stuff. And not put on that hat, right? You need a hat on. Temperatures are down into the 30s and the 20s out there. Look at this, 31 degrees right now in Carrollton, 29 in Rome. You got Dalton at 27 degrees, 30 in Duluth, 34 degrees right now in Marietta, 35 in the city in Atlanta. Over here to the east, you got temperatures right at the freezing mark. Athens, Edenton, also Covington, the same. Yeah, we'll heat it up a little bit as we head into the afternoon. We'll notice the clouds increasing, though. Partly sunny skies will be the call for this afternoon. 48 by noon on our way to 54 for an afternoon high. Now, keep in mind, that is about a little over 10 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. Yeah, that's going to be on the cold side. So you maybe leave your coat on. In other words, right on through the rest of the afternoon. Mostly cloudy skies. By the time we get to 7 o'clock, we'll be down to 45 by then. You see those clouds back off to the west of us. High thin clouds first coming in. They'll get thicker as we head into the afternoon. So that means we'll get some sunshine early on. You notice this rain over here toward Houston. That's an area of low pressure that's building, and it's going to make its way over toward us as well and bring in the threat for rain by tomorrow. In fact, in the wee hours of the morning, it will start and we'll be off and on through the day on Tuesday. So you got to enjoy this one. Cold air, really cold air up here to the north. So I'm going to call ours cool, just to show you what I mean by what's coming our way. So our temperatures really starting off on the chilly side will be cool during the afternoons. Because we'll have the clouds through the overnight, tomorrow morning won't start off as cold. We'll be down into the 40s Close to where we should be for this time of year, right? That area of low pressure starts to slide to the east of us, and then that colder air starts to filter in right behind it. And so we're going to stay with temperatures in the 30s for much of this week. Yeah, and highs will remain below the average. Here's how it plays out for us. Forecast track model shows the clouds thickening up. Mostly cloudy skies by the time we get to 7, 8 o'clock tonight. Then the rain comes in during the wee hours of the morning. It will be off and on with some heavy pockets here and there as we head through the day. This is by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe a clap of thunder or two. I suspect the rain will be around at least through about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evening. We'll have mostly cloudy skies through the overnight. We'll start off that way on Wednesday, but by the afternoon, we'll get some sunshine back into the area, and those temperatures will start to go down from there. In fact, the coldest day of the week, Thursday, 47 degrees for a high temperature after a 31-degree start. My pick will be Friday, mostly sunny skies and 51.
Continuing your 11 minutes of nonstop news with a tipping point for the balance of power in D.C. Senate races in Nevada and Arizona have been called for Democrats securing their party's control.
So Georgia is the one race still undecided, and as Molly Oak reports, the candidates are not willing to give up any ground.
Both candidates talked about each other's character after the first week of campaigning for that runoff for the Georgia Senate seat. Incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock pushed for votes at an event tied to Atlanta rappers' Fall Festival at Morehouse College over the weekend. Meanwhile, Republican nominee for U.S. Senate Herschel Walker headed to Peachtree City Sunday afternoon in the parking lot of Line Creek Brewing Company, both taking jabs at their opponent.
The people of Georgia need a champion, and a champion for working people. That's the work I've done my entire life. It's the work I've been doing in the Senate. It's work I'm actually able to do. Herschel Walker is not. He's not able to do this work. He's demonstrated that he has neither the competence nor the character.
It is time for him to get out of that office. It is time for him to go. And it's time for us to be evicting him. It's time for him to go.
Now, this all came one day after the control of the Senate was clinched with a Democratic win in Nevada. Here in Georgia, that U.S. Senate seat will be decided after that December 6th runoff. Guys.
Molly, thank you. Today is the last day for some Cobb County voters to return their ballots, their absentee ballots from last week's midterm election. This is not, of course, for the runoff. A Cobb County Superior Court judge called for absentee ballots to be overnighted to voters after the county admitted more than 1,000 were never mailed. The ballots must be received by today. They had to be postmarked by 7 p.m. November 8th. That was last Tuesday. Everything you need to know about the runoff election, you will find it on 11alive.com.
Today, the State House GOP caucus is voting to decide on who they want to hold the most powerful position in politics in Georgia. They'll pick a nominee to replace former Speaker of the House, David Ralston. Earlier this month, Ralston said health concerns forced him to step down. Ralston has been Speaker since 2010. President Joe Biden coming face-to-face with Chinese President Xi Jinping today. It's all happening during the G20 summit. This is the first time that Biden and Jinping have met since President Biden took office. They're expected to talk about Taiwan, Ukraine, and North Korea's nuclear ambitions.
A simple blue check mark has the power to create chaos. Twitter has now suspended signups for its blue subscription service. Users were buying a blue check to impersonate celebrities, politicians, and brands. It's been messy after a series of whiplash moves by new owner Elon Musk. Many are left wondering about Twitter's future.
Alienating all the advertisers for Twitter is probably not a pathway to leading to profitability. So any kind of forward momentum that there was prior to the takeover has now just been thrown into reverse.
This morning on Today, a closer look at the real-life consequences of Twitter's fake account chaos and what's coming next. Good morning, Chesley.
Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, everyone. By noon today, we're going to see partly sunny skies. Our clouds will be on the increase today. Temperatures right around 48 degrees. You're going to need to keep that coat on all day long. Of course, we started out in the 30s. We'll only get up to about 54 degrees for an afternoon high today. So I'm going to call it a cool afternoon, especially with that east breeze about 10 miles per hour or less will make it feel a little bit cooler out there. By 6 o'clock, sun's going down, right? 49 degrees will be your temperature. We'll have mostly cloudy skies by then. And then the rain comes back to us by tomorrow. Tomorrow morning is going to be a wet commute for us, folks. Keep that in mind.
How about them dogs? Matchup is now set for Georgia and LSU for this year's SEC title game. Right now, Georgia is #1 in the college football rankings, holding on to that top spot after they beat Mississippi State Saturday. LSU coming in at #6. This is going to be the 5th time the Bulldogs will face the Tigers for a shot at the conference title. One of our directors is from Louisiana. I think if we win, he has to make us gumbo.
Ooh,
yeah.
I like what you're thinking.
Hopefully he can make it.
It's good. It's good.
Today's show's next. Have a great day, everybody. See you back here tomorrow.
Oh.